like the Hallmark movies that we see, the big cities, full of holiday spirit and full of driving Mercedes.
In St. Louis, I realized that, yes, the United States is different from Rwanda, but we're all the same in some ways. We have a language other than English, so it was very difficult fitting in, being able to make friends with a language barrier. But luckily, I met fantastic staff members and teachers that helped me through my transition. So it was kind of a start of a new beginning in a new environment that I was not expecting. But over time, I improved my English through the help of my teachers. I got to meet people in my community and the environment, and now I can truly say that I belong in this community and I belong in the United States because I'm used to the environment and all their culture and everything like that. So here, the biggest difference that I saw through my school education and my school transition is technology. So to give you some perspective, the right side, that's a regular classroom here in the United States. So classrooms here are moving into flexible sitting, which means, first of all, they have elbow projectors with the technology computers, and also they have, other than desks, they have couches, they have carpets, they have game chairs. And teachers are calling this a home away from home, where a student is comfortable enough in their classroom to be able to take in information. That was my classroom in Africa. You had a chalkboard and wood desks, and you had to put your notebooks in on the chalkboard. So there was no hands-on activities, really. You had to memorize the notes that you learned and call it a day, which brings me to science classes here in the United States. Science classes here in the United States all have a lab right behind. So you learn about something, for example, chemistry. You learn about the chemicals that you're making, and after taking notes, after learning about the chemicals. But in secondary school, when I went to secondary school, it was a whole school, and the whole school had one laboratory. So you were lucky if you got one day a week to be able to practice the chemistry, the physics that you were learning. So through that, you can see the difference between a student who's getting all this time in a lab and a student who's only getting one day out of a week. So that's why we see a big difference in the education, because students here in the United States are moving higher up. We still see that some students in Africa are struggling, and they work extra hard to get where some of the students here are. And I remember when I first moved here, students were very curious to know where I came from, to know where my country is and what it was about. And through that curiosity came some very interesting questions, like, did you see wild animals roaming around, or did you guys have to walk everywhere? I was like, what? We have cars, but when you keep getting those questions every single day as a new student, it kind of gets frustrating. But now that I look back, you really get to think, and I get to see that these students really didn't know better. They didn't know what Africa was all about. They didn't know where Rwanda was. And through high school, we learn about history classes, we learn about Africa, we learn about the countries and everything like that. So as a senior in high school, I was like, now that we're all grown, we're all mature, and we're all aware of our surroundings, we're all aware of our countries and things that are going on around the world. One day in my English class, out of nowhere, I did not prepare my classmates, and I asked them this question. When I say Africa, and what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Rwanda? And I got some pretty interesting responses. So for Africa, they said poverty. And to give you a definition for poverty, it's the state of being inferior in quality and insufficient amounts. So what that means is that a person doesn't have the basic last year about this African superhero. It's a really great movie. You should check it out if you haven't watched it. And for Rwanda, they said the genocide. It's the first thing that comes to mind when a person says genocide. The first thing that comes to mind when a person says Rwanda, they think of the genocide. And to give you a definition of genocide, it's a deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or a nation. And that the genocide in Rwanda happened in 1994, which really has helped the country grow and move on from the past and do better things. Some people didn't know if Rwanda was a city, and some people said blood diamonds. They didn't really happen in Rwanda, but they happened a long time ago in some parts of Africa. And they said Wakanda, which is a city in Black Panther that has vibranium and these amazing things that the United States didn't know about. But after getting these responses, I thought to myself, why is it that students that we learn about continents year after year in every US history class, every geography class, and yet people really don't know about my country and where I'm from? And I got to thinking, well, it's because when in our history classes, we learn about the history and the things of the past, but we don't really get to know about the progresses that countries are making, the progresses that Africa is making as a continent, and it's rising above. Progresses like Zipline. Zipline is a company here in the United States. It's based in San Francisco with Rwanda, and they're making drones that deliver blood and medicine to places in need. And these drones are doing amazing things back in Rwanda. So places that it would have taken 4 hours or more to be able to get blood to a person who's really in need, or medicine to a person who's on their deathbed, is now taking 30 minutes or less. By a text message, you can just send a text message real quick, and blood will get there soon. And amazing lives. People are saved. This progress is saving amazing lives, and people and life. Mothers, children are all grateful for this company. And they saw the amazing things that this company was doing back in Rwanda. And Tanzania has agreed to partner up with them, and they're also starting this in Tanzania. So it's going all across the continent, and hopefully it's going to get to all of the continents, because this is such an amazing progress. And another amazing progress that I was really, really happy about was 1 laptop per child. So this company donates laptops to elementary schools in need, elementary schools that don't have laptops, that don't get the opportunity to do research like my siblings do here in the United States. And my siblings are 8 years old and 10 years old, and they already know how to work a computer and print stuff and make presentations. But some kids are not getting this opportunity because they don't have the computers or the laptops. And this company is doing amazing things. They've already donated like 200,000 computers to elementary schools, and hopefully soon they're talking about getting every child in an elementary school will have a computer if they don't have access to one already. And these are amazing progresses that people really need to know about. So my biggest realization as an immigrant is that if we want people to know more about our countries and be knowledgeable about our cultures, we need to educate them. We need to continue educating every chance we get, because we meet different people every single day. And the work is never done, because look all around. There's different people in our lives every single day. So my biggest message to you is start a conversation, share your story, and educate. So if you didn't get anything out of this presentation, again, start a conversation, share your story, and educate. Thank you so much.